WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times with a global pandemic now approaching its third year. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. To see if you qualify, please visit. Call 313-388-9799 or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Good morning. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is May the 6th. And good morning to everyone. If you're looking for the weekly broadcast of Ask Welfare Rights, we're here. My name is Maureen Taylor, and I work with the Michigan Welfare Rights Organization. And I'm here with the national chairperson of the National Welfare Rights Union, who's going to give you an official welcome. So, Marion, please say good morning.
Good morning. And again, we keep looking for those nice sunshine, bright, looking for the sun to come out and stay all day long. But maybe tomorrow. You think so, Maureen?
Could be.
I would hope so. But I think they said it would be raining tomorrow.
Yeah, it's still early May.
All right. All of you that are looking for us and want to call in, we want you to dial either one of these numbers. They work, and we'd be glad to hear what you have to say about what's going on in the community and what's happening around you. Call-in numbers are 313-868-0342 or 0351 or 4336. And we have the website, WHPR. I'm looking at the wrong thing. www.tv33whpr.com. Those of you that have those computers and know how to get those fingers to move, and that's where that's the number for the computers.
Okay, www.tv33WHPR.
She always got to do
All right.
that.
Well, you never say the dot. The
dot
dot been there 17 years.
People that got
you know.
computers knows that they have to do the dot.
If you're a new computer user, you might have needed to know that information.
Well, let's hope that they on there.
All right. Hallelujah. All right. Lots of things going on. This whole madness around not having the right to have a safe and legal surgical procedure if you're a woman with child and you don't want to have this baby. This is a real big thing. 50-year law, 50-year precedent, not president, but precedent rule is on the verge of being thrown out. So for those people that don't know how that was, that means people are using coat hangers and all kinds of metal objects to try to rid themselves of a potential pregnancy. And Marion, is that and this other conversation is going on that talks about some of the other federal protections that we might lose. And I had forgotten that there is a contraceptive pill that you can get to make certain that you're not pregnant. And that is, it was federally protected, that you had the right to get a prescription for that. And that one's on the block. Maybe you can't get that anymore. And affirmative action, X amount of this percentage of women had to be enrolled in engineering. This percentage of African Americans needed to be enrolled in medical classes. This percentage of Latinos or Native Americans needed to be enrolled in law school, so that there was some kind of balance, that everything wasn't always about white men. And that is on the block to take a look at. Maybe we'll need that anymore. So this is a big deal, big deal. More locally, we're still raising discussions. There, you know, we got a guest speaker calling us today. Still having some issues around this over taxation that a lot of us, just before COVID, were made aware of, that the residents in Detroit were overtaxed into the millions of dollars.
And slapped in the face.
And well, we got slapped when we heard the response to that was, I'm sorry that happened. We already collected the money and we already spent it. And you won't be getting it back. No credits, no, no nothing.
Just a slap in the face.
And just how sometimes the government, and I'm saying it that way because, the individual instances have to be judged. We've got, thank you very much. The engineer heard our sniffling. So, So that kind of circumstance is going on. We got a lot of local problems. I was on a call last night at the church, and Full Circle, which is a community-based organization that goes out and writes grants to get money for housing for low-income people, yeah. And Full Circle people were on the telephone call, and they were talking about affordable housing and how it's just rapidly disappearing. And in urban areas, you can hardly find affordable housing. Not news, because Gene has been talking about this for a long time, and the kind of pressure that we're under. Then, heard from Dave Rambo, and that message was about why is there very little discussion, printed media, social media, audio media, about the relationship that African Americans, people of color, have with this war, and what are our opinions about, this particular situation. And the very first thing that came to my mind, Marion, is that African Americans are not monolithic. We don't all think the same. I got an opinion. You might have a different opinion. Somebody else may have a third opinion about this situation in the Ukraine. But welfare rights, we got a firm position. We are against war. We always against war, because what it means is the military complex, that whole industry, is salivating at the millions and billions of dollars that they're getting. So go ahead, Marion, say something about that.
The Bush Foundation, they owe, you remember President Bush? He and his family had, is getting money probably out of that. Every time a bullet is shot,
Somebody get paid.
they get paid. And, we elderly people, we got to think back that, it was the same thing in other wars and stuff like that. The people, the actual people on the ground living in those places, being killed in those places, they were not the ones that received the money. But yet and still, our when we look at what's happening around us, Maureen, we don't get the money like they push out everywhere else. We want to see them give the people the money and rebuild their places. But why would you jump over the folks that are in trouble here in your own states without taking care of problems at home first, and then talk about the question of trying to even, helping those brothers and sisters over there, and what's going on. They always want to turn us against one another to be able to have those men that you were talking about, those white men, be able to. I be wondering where Mother's Day is tomorrow.
Mother's Day is Sunday.
Sunday,
Yeah.
yeah. When I looked at that the other day, I said, look here. We're back 50 years, and here again, we got to call for retroactive abortion. In other words, we want to send them back to their parents, their mothers, because how can you sit up there and let these folks, these capitalists, get away with this nonsense? We got to stop sitting and looking at the TV all the time and start understanding, and start understanding that, look, the women are not going to take this like they did once before. It took us years to get to the point of where we are now. It's time for the women to begin to stand up and understand this country is not just this country, but throughout the world. If we're going to have some decent companies, decent places that people can understand that we don't have to live like this. And we don't have to have these people that think they know everything and don't know nothing, run the government.
Well,
we got to stop that, Maureen.
We're in a panic now.
We're in a panic.
We're in a panic, and I believe that these women and children in Ukraine that are running for safety, they need help.
They need
I'm
a lot
all
of help.
for it. I'm all for it. But to take our tax dollars, yours and mine, and go buy bullets and missiles and tanks and all kinds of war objects, I'm not feeling that. All right, because all that's doing is making the circumstance last longer. More and more people are injured and killed. But your point is so well taken. What about all the women and children that are running from eviction here? The women and children that are running from not having access to health care. What about the women and children here that can't get this water situation straight in almost every state? What about the women and children here that can't get into community colleges or long-term colleges because they owe a college fee, a college fund? What about the women that are running for a better quality of life right here? And I think back, Marion, we've discussed this on the air. The Biden's Build Back Better plan, and he wants to get this fixed and this fixed and this fixed. All those things, and Democrats and Republicans couldn't agree. But they all agree on this war and military budget. There was no, it must be one or two of somebody that say, no, I don't feel this. But there's pretty much universal agreement in an effort to try to make monies available for war. And what's his name? Tupac got a line in that song. Don't have a problem with war, but you can't feed the poor.
That's right.
And then you got Republicans. This is the evil bunch of people there, boy.
Do you see them
You know-
on the TV looking at the news and stuff like that?
Mhm.
They think that they own everything.
And that they can make all the decisions about everybody's personal body. This is really something.
Their wives should really understand what's going on.
The wives feel the same way.
But they need to take a broom and sweep.
Watch it
sweep,
now.
I know,
Watch it
I
now. This
slip.
is an open.
I know.
Open,
and sweep
you know.
them out of those houses. Women, it is time for all of us to come together. This is our body. Some of you claim that you are religious and all that stuff. You got a body that was given to you, and they trying to take your
control.
control of that body away from you. But I said, if my husband was alive, I bet you he'd be right on our side, General Baker. He'd be right out there with us.
Well, I just the
Fighting
thought
it's a shame.
of a 11 or 12-year-old that ends up getting pregnant because of rape, incest,
Yes.
rape, something like that.
And that's those white
And
men.
it's not all white men.
I know that.
I know. But to have a child, and they used that phrase on TV the other day, a child having a child. But to make that 12, 11, or 13-year-old carry that pregnancy, and they don't want to be pregnant, and the rule is you have to stay pregnant. Oh my goodness, that's some draconian mess. That's some horrible mess. We're gonna make you stay pregnant, you know. And so I know that that's a bad circumstance, and that's a national piece. And we got all these local struggles and whatnot that are coming around. And so one of the things we wanted to put on everybody's mind today is that situation around these being overtaxed. We mentioned it. So we invited a special guest, and I think our guest is on the line. Caller, you've been very patient. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for calling Ask Welfare Rights. Caller, you are on the line.
Thank you for taking my call.
Okay, our special guest has arrived, Marion. This is Miss Agnes Hitchcock. Call them out, name and fame. So we asked Miss Agnes if she would take the time today to raise this issue about being overtaxed and to give us her thinking on this and let us know what we need to be doing to face this activity. So Miss Agnes, bring us up to date.
First, let me thank you, and I really appreciate that you give me this opportunity to speak to your viewers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On May 24th, 10 a.m. at the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center, we need all of the people who've been overtaxed in the city of Detroit to bring a tax bill, to go to the tax office and demand that they give us our money back that we were over-assessed.
Oh, I love that.
They pretend that they have all sorts of reasons why they can't make us whole in this particular instance. They'll start talking, and they'll have you confused and tell you about you should have asked to be overset. The lawsuit was filed in the wrong place. I spent the money. Go to the schools. Go to the police if you want your money back. We don't have it. Suck it up. So we can't continue to let them disrespect the homeowners and people in the city of Detroit. So we'll go back. This time we need to take with us saints and sinners, homeless people, squatters, and then the people who lost their homes for taxes they never owed. And lastly, the people who struggled, made sacrifices to pay those taxes that we were overassessed. They appear to be able to find money for developers, special projects, bike lanes, just any number of things other than to make us whole with regards to that $600 million. So on May 24th, show up at the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center, which is a great day for that. That's Mayor Coleman Young's birthday.
Okay.
Yes, that's his birthday on May 24th. So in honor of Mayor Young, we need to show some of his spirit.
That's right.
Show up. Demand that they make us whole, make the people whole who lost their homes for over-taxes, and do the right thing.
Now, what day of the week is that, Miss Agnes?
That is on a Tuesday.
Okay, at what time is the gathering?
10 a.m. at the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center.
Okay, and now are we talking about gathering out there in front of the Spirit of Detroit statue?
We're talking about gathering at the statue. But if we have enough people to absolutely ring that city council building,
Okay.
to put a
That's
ring
good.
around it, yes, that's what we need. And
Uh.
then the people who have tax bills, we need people to go up to that tax office and demand a refund for the amount that we were overassessed. The last time we were there, they disrespected us. They called the police on us. They dragged us out. They shut the building down in order to keep us from getting our refunds. So we need saints, sinners, homeless people, squatters, and last but not least, the people who struggle to pay those taxes to keep from losing their homes.
Okay, now, Miss Agnes, just before COVID, a lot of us gathered down at the City County building, the Coleman Alexander Young Municipal Center, and to ask and to demand some changes. You were there. For those that don't remember, or those that weren't there, give us your assessment. Tell folks what happened on that day when we all went down there together.
On that day, we went to the Coleman A. Young Center to ask for a refund for the monies that we had been overassessed.
Mr. Tim,
Initially-
would you turn that volume up just a little bit more? Hold on, Miss Agnes.
Sure.
Okay, now go ahead, Agnes. Now, what happened on that day?
On that day, we went down to the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center to the tax office to demand a refund. When somebody makes a mistake and overcharge you, what they're actually supposed to do is say, I'm sorry, would you step over to that line over there? We'll cut you a check or we'll give you a tax credit. The manager came to the window and demanded that I move from in front of the window. How do you treat a taxpayer like that who you've taken their money, overassessed them, and won't even talk to them about it? So we had hundreds and hundreds of people that were there demanding their money. So they figured if they could haul me outside the building, that would squelch the demand. However, the people stood fast. They stayed there. They demanded their money. The only thing they could figure out to do that particular day was to close the building down and not do any more business that day.
That's some dirty stuff.
Okay, and I still recall Marion and I went down to the county building and went to the auditorium because there was the city council called for a hearing. And I remember that.
That was a disgrace.
And we went to that particular activity, and the auditorium, there were thousands of people in there that day.
Absolutely.
Tell folks what happened when we were in the auditorium on that day, Miss Agnes. Go ahead.
Talk about
Well,
those city
on
council
that
people.
day, what our city council does is they act like they don't have the power to do anything. They will call a meeting. They will allow you to talk for 2 minutes, and nothing ever gets done. They sit around and wait, I believe, for Mike Duggan to tell them what they could do. An example now is they're talking about giving us, using $6 million for something in relation to the $600 million in taxes. I don't want to study. I don't want $6 million in reparations. $6 million they're talking about is a penny on the dollar for $600 million. That's how much they disrespect us. So they talk about the $600 million all the time as if they're going to do something about it. But direct action, interrupting their flow for business, I believe is the only thing they're going to listen to. When they can't make any more money, when they can't conduct any business, they may decide that it's easier to make those people whole than it is to deal with the interruption. So I just thank you, and if you give us the rest of that story about what took place that day, Brenda Jones was disrespectful. The city council members fall asleep, but they'll give you your 2 minutes to vent.
I remember it well. Go ahead,
The
Marion.
thing that got me was when the head of the city council at that time said, we called this meeting. You know, no, the people called. You needed to call that meeting in order to try to tell
us whole.
yeah, make us whole again. But the thing about it is, they had no respect for the people there, none. And when Dugan said, we don't have no more money, I was ready to walk out there and start something. But I tell you, it was really the way they look at the people of Detroit, the people of Highland Park. We have some of that same stuff on our city council. I mean, there's not the respect that needs to go down. They act like, why are they sitting in those chairs?
Bothering us.
They're supposed to be representing the interests of the people. Yeah,
I remember that Brenda Jones said, I can't remember how many dollars it was that she said she spent to have that
To have the
special
meeting.
meeting.
which was the money of the people of Detroit.
Yes, she did. That was our money.
The people's money.
Uh-huh.
She didn't say how much she spent for lunch after the meeting. I told her she eat too much already anyway.
Oh, Lord.
To be so disrespectful to tell the people that I spent. That was not her money. That's our money.
That's right. Miss Agnes, once again, we're talking May the 24th.
May the 24th.
Coleman Alexander Young Municipal Building. Many people still call it City County Building. We're going to meet in front of the Spirit, and we're going to be spirited.
Spirited.
That's right. That's on a Tuesday, and at 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to go there and talk to some people about how are we going to get our money back. Is that what we're going to do on that day, Miss Agnes?
And
We're
not
going
next
to
year.
demand our money.
Hey, and not next year. We're talking about now.
This May.
It's our money, and we want it now.
I know that commercial. Thank you, Miss Agnes.
Thank you.
Already, Henry Tyler, and I forgot, he told me last week for you to give him a call, and
I will.
so he could work out some details down here at WHPR.
That would be great.
Thank you, Miss Agnes.
Thank you.
All right now.
Goodbye.
All right now. Marion, I remember you and I went in, and everybody that was in the auditorium, these seats were full down there, so we went up and sat there and watched. There were thousands of people in the auditorium, and people were telling the city council members, you know, we want our money back, and you know, mistakes get made, but you know, we can't have a mayor that says you were over-assessed $600 million, and we should not have taken that much, and we're sorry that happened, but you won't be able to get it back. I never heard nothing like that before.
We can't get it
You know, there's nothing we can do about it. No
That was
credit.
a slap in the
No,
face.
you know, no nothing. And you know, I know a lot of times when people are overcharged something, they'll tell you can come down to get a refund check.
Yeah.
And then there are others that'll say, well, we can't refund you a check because the money's already spent. But why don't we take whatever it is you owe on your taxes or whatever the bill is, we'll take it off so you don't have to pay it. There would always be some kind of compensation, some kind of offer. And it just didn't happen.
Well, let me ask
you know,
you a
it's
question.
really
Let
interesting.
me ask you this question. And I hope the listening audience are listening to this. Now, when they make them, do you think if that had been Dan Gilbert that needed some more money, what do you think the mayor would have said then?
Are you talking about being overassessed?
Dan Gilbert get what he wants and
Well,
when he wanted.
It sure looks like it.
And that's the money of the people of Detroit that they are spending to Dan Gibbard and all the other folks that are coming into Detroit downtown.
But I don't understand why the Detroit City Council hasn't taken this up.
They
need to be able to say, we understand what happened and we need recommendations on how to fix it. And just because there's been an election and we got new council members on that team and whatnot, that's money owed to the residents. But that's the same thing, boy, that's been happening a long time. Over-assessed Miss Cecily and Monica Lewis Patrick and Deborah Taylor and them was pointing out all of the money that was over-assessed and never comes back. You know, the tax savings, if we pay this amount, a little bit more than anybody else, we get a break down the road. That never happens, you know, and, you know.
What happened to all those houses that your mayor talked about, you know, getting houses for people?
I never heard that conversation. Only houses I know he talks about are those that he hired demolition companies to demolish. And I know about those. I know that the mayor has approved this new economic project where these African Americans have come together to build housing in Detroit. And the guy in charge of the organizing of that says that it'll be 80% will be market rate, and 20% will be for low income. And it should be just opposite. 80% should be low income, moderate income, 20% for folks that have market rate money.
How much tax breaks they're going to give them?
Well, wait a minute. The 20%, all right, that I got the housing or these apartments that are going to be made available with this new project, they have options. They have money. They have resources. Yes. They can go where they want to go. You know, and
people, y'all better understand.
I don't understand it.
You know, you sit up again and look at the TV, but you don't listen to what the folks are talking about, and a lot of you really don't know what they're talking about. You got to get out here with the rest of us and try to find out what's going on.
Get better informed. Better informed.
If you don't know, if you want to know when the next meeting is coming up, we'll probably be putting it on, you know, you'll be able to hear something about it at Welfare Rights.
Yep.
You know, here's something coming up that just was announced a few minutes ago. Won't you say that again, Maureen? What she said that.
Oh, you talking about May 24th is on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
At 10 o'clock, we're supposed to gather at the City of Detroit statue, or the Spirit of Detroit statue, right there on Woodward and Jefferson. I needed to say that because maybe some people don't know where the Coleman Alexander Young Municipal Building is.
I still call it Coleman.
You know, well, I still call it, a lot of people still call it City County Building, but that's what we're talking about. And we should be gathering there on that Tuesday, May 24th at 10 o'clock in the morning, so that we can have a discussion in front how we gonna manage this, all right? You know,
the question has to be,
go ahead.
The question has to be put out there. Who does that building represent?
Well, that's a question, all right, because there was a time when you could go down to the Detroit City Council meetings, and I look at the council hearings from time to time, and they very manicured.
Oh my God!
They very sanitized, and I know we got COVID, and when that last big hearing happened that we went to about this tax assessment stuff, we could sit next to each other. It's been 3 years now, and we weren't able and not able probably still to go down to the city county building and raise our concerns. But as the city opens up and the county opens up, there's a pot of money that belongs to the residents. And why are we having this conversation about how we're going to get it back? I think it's because they don't know how to give it back. Now, if they're not going to write a check, and they're not going to do that, they're not going to write no check. That's not going to happen. What we should be talking about is here is my tax bill, and this is how much I owe, and how much of my tax bill is going to be reduced because I was overassessed.
And
How
if
much
it
are you
is-
taking off? That ought to be the question right there, you know? And so when Agnes talks about reparations, well, no reparations for charging us for taxes when you shouldn't have. I mean, we got charged for some taxes,
And our
but they
taxes-
overcharged us.
And when you look at the thing, the people of Detroit that have to pay taxes, when they look at you, if you don't pay those taxes, you out on the street.
Well,
Now,
you know,
I think, but let me finish.
go ahead.
You should look at city council as well as the mayor and anybody else around him and find out, look, you need to go to jail. You need to go to jail. You done stole our money.
That they don't call that stealing because they defined what happened. They say it was an accounting mistake.
Matters that,
Okay.
Maureen. If it's you or I have to go down there and pay our taxes or something like that, we don't pay them, they take our house. They don't pay, we don't pay it, and our families are out on the streets.
We
They
should-
don't come to our aid.
We should be using the language that they use. The council should be fighting this fight.
They should.
They
but
should be.
They
You know?
fighting right now to try to get back on council, right?
No, I'm talking about these new council members they got.
How
You
many
know, it's
y'all got?
about 3 or 4 new council members, and Coleman Alexander Young II is a new council member, and a young woman by the name of Calloway. I didn't know her before the election, and she seems quite adamant and very smart. And it's 2 or 3 others. Fred Durall III is on the council. This is the fight that they're supposed to be taking up for us. You know,
They
and a
shoulda
lot of
went in there
times,
with that kind of stuff.
see, I believe that folks just, you know, who said that? That was a long time ago. Elena said that to me a long time ago. You have to sometimes tell people what they're supposed to do. Honest to God, we have so many people that have to be told, here is the fight. This is the fight right here. And this is what we want you to do. You know, and maybe we have to write it down. You know, they don't get it.
No, they
now,
get it.
Nellie, I talked with Nellie from Welfare Rights, who lives in Ohio. Talked to her yesterday. And Marion, she called me to tell me that in Ohio, if you're behind on your taxes, they put the taxes, the property taxes on your home. And they're actively taking houses, and they're doing that in Ohio. And according to Nellie, the mayor, wherever that city is she lives, said that they got that idea from Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, got that idea from Highland Park.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't pay your water bill,
They take
put
it.
that on put that old bill on your property taxes, and that's what they're doing. And the same thing in Ohio, putting water bills on property tax delinquencies, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something, you know, they learn how to do evil,
Dirty stuff.
you know, from watching each other.
Yeah.
And so now here we got this abortion situation. People all engaged in this. Well, abortion, I'm not for abortion. Okay, are you for supporting the right of a person to have a safe surgical procedure? Are you okay with that? Well, yes, I am. Then it shouldn't be up to you to decide which ones can they have and which ones they can't have, you know, because this is a legal process. We are in so much trouble, Marion, and please think and comment on this. We are in so much trouble, you know, inflation. And I listen to, you know, I don't understand the thinking process. Inflation. And inflation means that these owners of food, the owners of energy, the owners of property, the owners of lots, they can charge more money, all right, for a house. Now, the house might be worth $100,000. Inflation goes up, and the bank says, now I want $125,000 for this. So what is the answer to these rising costs, especially among people who don't have a lot of extra money to pay for food or utility bills or, or water, all this kind of stuff? So the answer, Marion, is for the Fed, the Federal Reserve, to charge more money for people to borrow money. And so that means fewer people will go to the bank and ask for a loan over here, and that's going to slow the rising inflation over there. I don't get that. If at my school, if you are a parent at my school, there's a special food stamp allotment that you can get, whether you've been receiving food stamps or not. You're eligible for this special food stamp card, this special food stamp amount, because we know you can't buy milk and bread and vegetables this month like you could do it 6 months ago. So all of our parents are getting this extra income, it's not income, but this extra resource so that they can buy more food. Tell me, Marion, why that's not what goes on all across the country?
No.
See, why not? If this is my card and I need to get $600 additional worth of meals, that's going to work on inflation, because what that means is I can feed my family. What's wrong with that, Marion?
What's wrong with it what's wrong with it, Maureen, is that, again, we'll talk about the capitalists again. It is not putting enough money in their pockets for their benefits. They don't care about, let's look at the factories right now. Technology is running the factories right now. I know a lot of people that have been, sent home. They don't need them to produce no more. They don't need those children that you're talking about to produce no more. They're not the round of folks that they're looking for to be in those factories no more. So therefore, we're waste. We tried to tell you about that before they started doing that, but you didn't listen to us. And right now, if anything, if you live in the United States of here, you should be the order of priority when it comes down to who needs housing, who needs an education, who needs the ability to have nice homes, all that type of stuff. But they go out there and tell all those lies in other countries and say, "Oh, come to the United States. It's a wonderful place to be." No, it is pure hell. And we're going to have to begin to start. It's time out thinking that they're going to do for you.
No, they're not.
Because they done slapped you right in your face. Downtown Detroit should tell you that. And what pisses me off every time I think about the new train that's supposed to come through, on Woodward Avenue sooner or later. How long have we been waiting on that train?
About 20 years now.
Yeah, you got that right.
You
better start looking around you and see what is happening and who's doing it to you.
I think it's the question of people just are so frustrated and will not take the time to go and get yourself educated about what's going on with taxes, what's going on with, DTE under all kinds of scrutiny right now, because they, been shutting off lights and gas. Now the winter protection plan ended March the 31st.
Yeah.
So as of the first week in April, DTE sent out notices to all of the DTE customers to say you are delinquent, and that we're gonna give you 30 days to pay whatever that back bill is. And now that we're at the end of April, a week or so ago, now the shut-off notices are starting to go out, right? And there are two issues with this, Marion. How many years have we been talking to seniors, low-income households, but mostly seniors, who knew that from November 1st to March 31st, That's the winter protection plan. So November, December, January, February, March, 5 months that elderly and retirees did not have to pay their full DTE bill. They knew it and we knew it. So here comes April, and they're getting these notices, and they're calling us at Welfare Rights talking about, I got a shut-off notice. And how many years have we been telling folks, you have to pay DTE, consumers, you got to pay the pipe or something, otherwise in April they're coming to get you, and what's that phrase, they'll have no mercy. They'll have no mercy. And that's where we are now. Augustus tells me that out of every 10 calls, 9 of them are from elderly people who haven't made any payments at all for 5 months and want to know where can they go to get help.
Maureen,
You know, how many years we've been
no
talking
feeling
about
for
this?
None of them, though. I'm talking about, you know, I'm not mad at all the people we have talked to. The thing about it is, you have to come out and come to some of these meetings because DTE, what DTE has, as well as the whole question of what Great Lakes Water Authority have, they have what we need to be. That should be for the, you know, that should be for the people, not for them to control. And then I'm gonna stick with that, and in the sense that those we're going pretty soon to where's Annie at?
We're going to Baltimore. We're going to the march. March against poverty.
The thing about it is, we were the ones that created the water affordability plan. And every time we give it out to folks, they're able to implement it in their area.
In their city.
In their city.
Yes.
And one of the key things that happened in Baltimore was not only that they implemented it, but there was something else attached, that companies like that could not own no private entities there.
Okay, you talking about couldn't own no public water.
No public water.
Yeah.
No public water. And we need that here too. Because like you said, water, we were taught years ago that water was supposed to be free. Well, that's not right here in this country. You show me some free water.
I want to go back to these seniors because I know you have a particular position, but I think they're wrong. And the reason I think they're wrong is because at the end of these 5 months, they start calling Westside Mothers, they start calling the different block clubs, and they start calling Welfare Rights to talk about how afraid they are. And they you know, well, I'm saying, they need to understand that this enemy don't care nothing about them. They don't. And you know, well, I didn't pay my bill, and I paid $20 over 5 months, and what can I do now? No, you got Social Security, SSI, pension, whatever it is, you got it every month. And you're not thinking. You're believing that they're going to be concerned that your lights and gas are going to be shut off. They don't care.
No, they don't care.
They don't. And now you put us in a position. Now you calling us and crying and whatnot over the phone, and we've been talking about this for decades. Don't let them set you up like this. Don't let it happen. Make a minimum payment, $30, $40 every month.
Oh, Maureen, they've gone up on a lot of those minimum
You know,
payments.
well, I'm saying you can create your own self-imposed budget and pay something so that after 5 months you're not so deep in the hole, and we can talk to you about a state emergency relief application, going down to Wayne Metro, going down to whatever these organizations and whatnot are that can help you with your light, your gas, and your water. But I'm saying it's disingenuous and it's unfair to put Welfare Rights in this seat where we have to keep fighting for folks that every single year, I know some of these names like clockwork, every single year. Cranford has retired from DTE a month ago. She said she couldn't take it no more. She gone. You know? I mean, and it just goes on. you know, where people think that these corporations are concerned about them, and they're not concerned about them.
Well, the one good example
God, they
is
don't
that
care.
They don't care about you because look at what happened to you on trying to get your taxes back. I mean,
Excellent example.
you know, trying to, trying to deal with that.
They
All
don't
the
care.
people that these folks that are sitting downtown Detroit and being in the city council or in Highland Park, in the final analysis, we need to make them show us that they represent us.
Yes, I'm
And
saying it.
tell this one, and this one. I remember when that you did not perform. And by the way, some of you people that's running, and we haven't never seen you come to the community. We got that in Highland Park. A young man running right now that we haven't never seen it in the community at all. But we think that we need to put him in office. You know, that type of nonsense.
Caller, we're down to our last 5 minutes, so you are on the air, caller.
I know y'all get tired and tired of people that won't take responsibility for their yet won't even try.
Yep.
And you try to help people that won't help themselves. I know that's got to be draining.
Draining, and redraining. You know, just wore out with this stuff, you know. What can I do now?
I'm telling you. I just called to give y'all a shout out, and I want you to enjoy the holiday.
And thank you, and happy Mother's Day to you.
Yes.
Same to you. Love y'all.
All right, thank you now. Marion, we're down to our last, what we got, 3 minutes, Tim? We're down to our last 3 minutes. I don't know what else we can do. People can call us at Welfare Rights, and you all know the number. I'll give it out again, 313-964-0618. But the caller's right. You know, you put yourself in this position. You put yourself in this position. And it didn't have to be, you know. Marion, we're going to the National March Against Poverty. There are folks that still can get on the bus.
Get on the bus.
If you're interested, it's on a Saturday, June the 18th. There are buses leaving from Detroit, Ypsilanti, and Ann Arbor. I don't think there is a charge. You can call us down at Welfare Rights, and we'll connect you to the people that are organizing this. You'll be a drive all day, sleep a couple hours, go to the march, and then that night you're coming back. And you should be involved. All you have to do is just say, I want to go. Yes, so, Marion, you have 30 seconds to say goodbye.
I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And I hope that all the mothers out there are joined in with us, Welfare Rights and other organizations that are trying to come together and fight against this mess that we were slapped with the other day, that we don't have the power over our bodies. If we have to come together and fight for the next generation, because this is nonsense.
Oh, okay. Engineer just said we had a couple of more minutes. Marion is so right. Marion, I always try to figure out what will it take to get people to wake up. And I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know anymore myself. You know, we got a dear member with a daughter that had an aneurysm. And this is a 40-year-old that had an aneurysm, a 40-year-old with 6 children. And she's recovering very slowly. And we're praying for her all the time. And we just look at the things she's facing because she's a low-income mother. And all of this trouble that she is now having to face in intensive care because she's poor. You know, and that just seems to be the case over and over and over again, and it's not seems to be, but that is the case, and the caller is right. We're tired of it. You know, you have to get involved. It's not up to me and Marion to keep fighting this damn fight by ourselves. It ain't up to me and Marion and Sylvia and Teresa and Angie and Cookie and Augustus and Fred and used to be Joe Green and all the rest of us that are in this battle every single day. Why should we keep fighting for you when you don't want to fight for yourself? I'm sick of it.
And always
We're
trying to
tired.
say some of them always say, I'm gonna report you to. Let me speak to your supervisor, and I want to laugh.
You know, the supervisor, you have to call on God, because that's the kind of work we're doing. Ain't nobody else, you know. So, all right, that we're standing. Everybody has heard what we got to say. We're tired of making this gripe. You know, in a minute, we're going to get tired of fighting for you, and you're going to be on your own, and then you'll understand, okay? Up until then, by next Friday, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, we will be back next Friday. Please call Welfare Rights, 313-964-0618, 964-0618, and put your name down as a person that wants to ride the bus and complain and march against poverty on June 18th. Yeah. Marion, what's the last thing we say at the end of every day? Bye.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times with a global pandemic now approaching its third year. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. To see if you qualify, please visit. Call 313-388-9799 or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.